Hello everybody, Daz here. I would like to thank you all of you who placed orders with dazMode throughout holiday season. We were pretty busy, including myself. For that reason, I hadn't chance to work too much on my personal hobby thing, but nevertheless, I did a little work here and there, and today I would like to catch up with you what was done so far. And after I do this little introduction, I'm going to work on my build and see if I can figure out my tube routing for the design I have in mind. So last things that were left, we discussed that I will be using D5 pumps and heat killer top, and since then I spent quite a few hours modifying D5 pumps. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but I'd like to show you what is actually happening here. So well, I don't want to detach it. You might notice that if you look carefully that cable from D5 pump not coming from the top cover as it usually is, now coming from the side of the pump. So what I want to do, I never like that those cables coming out of the pump, especially when you see the pump kind of facing your way. And for that reason I decided to drill a hole in the body of the pump and put wires through the side. So for this way, when I will sleeve and cut them to the perfect length, I'm going to route the cable like this, and basically you will see nothing. So instead of cable coming in your face, as you can probably remember it looked like on my test bench, it's not horribly bad, but I wanted a little bit improvement, so for that reason I did this. If anybody wants to repeat that, there are a couple things of advice I would like to suggest you. First of all, you will need to drill the hole in the body of the pump on the side of it. I suggest to put some sort of anything that protects the body of the pump from your drill to go through, because when you drill with hand tool, if you have maybe something more advanced, like in a shop, maybe you can control it better, but when you drill the hole with your hand tool, it's kind of, you need to press it, but when you go through, everything goes like this, right? So it's a good chance you can actually damage your pump this way. For that reason, I suggest that you put some sort of piece of plastic or piece of metal, then when you actually get through the wall, you crush in that protection instead of actually killing your pump. So that was a little bit kind of tricky moment. I figured out fast enough, but believe me, if I wouldn't put protection, I will drill straight through electronics. And I would say that actually how I did it, I drilled a really small hole first, and then I almost by hand increased the size of the hole big enough for the wires going through. After that, it's a little bit of cake, so you basically just cut connectors and you route your wires through the new hole, and end of story. I'm not sure if it's like worth the trouble, because it actually takes a little bit of time to do that, but for OCD purposes, I think it was a not bad idea. So that's my plan. So you can see the both wires now is unsleeved and just hanging there, because as I said that I would like to route them possibly right to the power supplies. It will be very close, and maybe I just plug them straight in power supply, end of story. Just will figure out how to connect them to 6-pin connector that goes into power supply, and that's my plan for now. The problems that not the problem, but another thing that I encountered with when I route my wiring through the side of the pump body was the hole that actually wires coming through originally, and that hole was in that cover on a pump. First I thought just patch it and paint it over, but I decided maybe it's not a bad idea to put some sort of indication that pump works. So what I did, I hardwired 5mm LED to power feed to this pump, and when pump will be on, this LED will be lit up. And I used two colors, because if you remember, actually I don't remember if I said to you or not, but what I'm trying to do, I want to use like two reservoir systems, and I would like to have those reservoirs kind of lose reference towards Neo choosing two pills, like blue and red pill. So I wanted two like colors be present on both reservoirs. So I put red LED on one pump and I put blue LED in another pump. That will be part of the theme I'm pursuing here. So that's the part that I was talking about. Another thing that I decided to use, I had a dark side product that I cannot figure it for the love of God for almost 2 years right now. And that thing is this LED rings, which is round. And where I got it, it's basically an adaptation of Angel Eyes light from BMW, and some other cars now use it as well. So I thought it could be really cool to put it on a fan and things like that, but I never could figure out how to do it in proper way, what kind of housing to do it and things. So, but I had a bunch of examples and production variations that lying around. So I decided to utilize it in my build because originally I planned to put some sort of lights into my reservoir. For that reason I had a reservoir with a bunch of ports, and one of my plans was try to take like piece of tube and run them through, similar to maybe XSPC Photon, or maybe like make even like I could make as many as like 3 tubes inside, so it could be look like a reactor type of thing. But finally I opted, I assembled it, didn't like it. I tried to light lights and also didn't like it because it never glows the entire thing. The bottom is glows well, middle is a little bit, and top doesn't glow at all. So that was part that I didn't like, so I decided to try to play with this round light. And what I did basically, you can't really see it properly here, but I will insert a picture later that shows what I'm doing. So basically I have this ring around the reservoir. One is green, one is blue, and they will highlight reservoir on those 2 colors in addition to LEDs on pumps. So this will be 2 colors present here. One thing that I encountered as a trouble, and that I'm actually just fixed right now, and hopefully it will work for me, that those acrylic holders that was custom milled for that purpose, when blue and red mixing, it actually became pink, which is very annoying. So for that reason you can hopefully you can see that I masked with electrical tape both sides of those acrylic holders, and I hope that will insulate one color bleeding over other colors, so I will have clear red and clear blue parts without turning into the pink or purple, if you say. So basically what I'm planning to do now, I will mount second pump back, put my LED thingy, and when this will be in place, I put reservoir in, and then I can actually play with my tube routing. A few things I also modified with the case before we'll proceed that. I can show you that a lot of stuff on the table. So I drilled a few holes. One hole I drilled on the back of the case. That's for my drain port. It will be coming from the pump, which is my lowest point of the build, and so no problem to drain here. So I will have this QDC outside of the case, so wherever I want to drain it, and just plug the tube that goes in the bucket, and it will be end of story. So it's one hole I drilled here, already installed it. Second hole, hopefully you can see it. I will try to lean it maybe a little bit towards cam. So there's a second hole I drilled. This will be going to reservoir, actually, to feed the reservoir from the motherboard, all this business on the top, which I still need to work out. So that goes to reservoir, feeds the pump, goes to the second pump in the series, get out of second reservoir and goes to radiator. Hopefully it will work. It's not the way how I set up my builds previously, but we'll figure it out at least try when we fill it up. And the last hole I didn't drill, but I already had it. It was right here. So that will coming from the second reservoir and go up. Other things that I'm going to try today and try to figure out today, I'm going to use those 2 360s radiators on top of my case, and I actually want to have them not flat. I'm planning to try to find way to put them under the angle. So they will be like sloping like this inside of the case. And I'm going to use 6 of those round lights, trying to make another loose reference to Matrix movie, and that will be those glowing things that were present on the spaceship, not the spaceship, the Hovecraft in the movie. I never can pronounce it correctly. I think it was like Nebuchadnezzar or whatever. You guys who speak perfect English can say it. But that's the thing. So the palms will be my peels. This thing will be my Hovecraft. But the thing is, how the hell I'm actually going to put spacers and stuff and try to make those radiators sloping. And also this will create additional problem that the ports will be kind of under the angle now. Tubes won't be facing down anymore. Now the tubes will be facing sideways. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm use angle fitting, so maybe I bend tube a little bit. So open question. You need to put things inside, and then I figure out. That's one of the things that you can't always plan everything on the paper. You can have some idea in your head, you can draw it, but until you try, you don't know. And that's what hopefully I can work out today. I also playing between what type of radiators I'm going to use. My last variation that I'm going to try first, I'm actually going to have one side of radiator is going to be cross flow, and the other side of radiator will be standard radiators. This way I can go in the radiator from one side, exit another, feed second rod, and then liquid will go through all this cooling components that I need to cool. Sorry for barking. My neighbors in the next unit, they have a dog and it's decided to bark now. So if you can hear it, my apology. So anyways, so that's the plan for now. I'm not sure if we'll film and tell you how I do things, because it's very distracting. Quite often when I think more about cam, I actually make mistakes. So I will probably work out, will film if it's necessary, but after that I'll make a comment. And if it's not going to happen, I just post this that you just watched, and it's already probably a good 10 minutes, so I think it's not bad for update. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll show you something else a little bit later. Hey guys, 3 hours later, I'm surprisingly back to finish up this video. First of all, I'd like to show you that after masking those round LEDs, I don't have a mixing of the colors anymore. It's a lot of lights around me, so it's hard to see, but when it's normal environment, it looks really cool. It's very red here, very blue here, no purple bullshit anymore, so it's pretty good. I've also, after that, I leveled out most of the fittings from this reservoir going through the mid plate, from this reservoir going through this plate, and after that we going to radiators that cross flow to this side, and then we just going to the second radiator, and after that all this motherboard, GPU, CPU business. With motherboard layout, I would like to try to see if I can play out with heat killer shape, because the type of mounting kind of very specific, so I would like to see if I can do small bands and make it in line of the heat killer shape. You will see later what I mean, but because it's hard to kind of explain on words. But I also, after some consideration, I think I will give it a shot and will work with copper tubes that I have just for fun of it. The problem is I ordered a tube bender on Amazon last week. It moves nowhere, so I don't know, it's company on holiday or whatever, but nothing happening with my bender tool, and I can't really progress any further with that. So probably we'll have to wait for this, and maybe we'll play a little bit more about cabling and things like this, which takes a lot of time as well. Also, we discussed how to do Hovecraft type of design for radiators. Turns to be not that difficult, so you can see I just jammed the radiator with the screws and no problem. So I didn't even needed any spacers or anything like this. So you can see the configurations that I was talking about. So we enter radiator one side, exit other, we connect to next radiator. I'm not sure if this was this port, it will be decided later. And after that we exit to motherboard side without any trouble. So, well, so far so good. I did some nice progress, pretty much know what I need to do next as soon as I receive tool, and so I can finish my tube rounds. And meanwhile I might do all this sleeving, cables, optimization, which is not very fun thing to film or show, but it's essential part of any build, so has to be done, although it's a lot of work. So we'll work a little bit every day and post some pictures on forum and things like this. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thank you for watching my channel. Sorry for disappearance for a few weeks, but I'm definitely back. Have a bunch of product to review, but I really wanted to do some progress of my own build, so I push it ahead of product review stuff that will come in probably next week. Alright guys, see you later.